All right, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? This is Instructor Mike. Let's go on ahead and talk about it. If you're coming on in, let's get the likes up, please. Let's get the likes up. Let's go on ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it, you all. We are talking about tonight the situation between Master P and Romeo, Lil Romeo, now going by his government name, Romeo Miller. What's going on? Let's talk about it. Let's get the likes up, get the likes up, get the likes up. Let's talk about it. Let's dive into it. No, this is not a firearms conversation. No, we are not talking about firearms. We are talking about family because family matters. And that's also what I'm addressing on my channel. What's going on, JFB? What's going on, Shanice? What's going on, CC? Those of you all coming in, yes, we are talking about this situation with Romeo Miller and Master P. So let's go on ahead and talk about it. Let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. What's going on? You said the tie is on point? Well, thank you. Thank you. I figured I'd just, kind of change it up a little bit, change it up a little bit. What's going on? I see Facebook is on. What's going on? Hey, Stephanie, what's going on? Yeah, I know I'm going to lose some people. In talking about this because this is not dealing with firearms. We are not just a firearms channel. I understand that's why some people follow me and stuff like that, but we're going to talk about family because family matters. I am also live. Hey, what's going on? I'm also live. You said the last video you seen, they were so close. What happened? Well, we are getting ready to talk about that. Do me a favor. If you are into this conversation, if you're interested in this conversation, go on ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I am streaming on all of my platforms. Family Matters with Instructor Mike, Dad I Wish I Knew, Mike Brown on Facebook, Instructor Mike on Facebook and on YouTube. So go ahead and hit the like button. Feel free to comment, and I am going to drop the link so that way you all can come on in. Let's get the conversation going. Without further delay, what's going on, Sarah? How are you? All right, let's go on ahead and get it up. So this is from the website XXL. And this is talking about No Limit Records, Master P, and his son, Lil Romeo, or otherwise known as Romeo Miller. Is it Pamela or Pamela? I want to make sure I got this right. Pamela Williams. Hello from New Orleans, Louisiana. What's going on right down in your neck of the woods? Let's go on ahead and dive into it. So this is according to the website XXL. You can go there to XXL Magazine or xxlmag.com. Romeo Miller is claiming he is currently broke and that all of his money from his music career was used to pay his father, Master P's, taxes. The No Limits record founder has now responded. On Sunday, December 8th, Romeo, who now goes by his government name, Romeo Miller, hit up Instagram with a post regarding his mental health. In it, he called out his father, Master P, for a myriad of things, sparking up a lengthy public back and forth between the two on social media. Romeo revealed many personal feelings he holds towards Master P as it pertains to their behind-the-scenes family life as well as his current financial situation. In the form of a poem titled, quote, The Tree of Trauma, end quote, Romeo aired out his grievances toward the media, claimed that his mother and siblings have suffered as a result of the limelight placed the primary blame on his father, Master P. Is anybody surprised that dad gets the blame? I mean, is anybody surprised that dad gets the blame? And there was an ad that popped up, so it got in the way. But of course, that's what happens when you use somebody else's website. Let's go. Let's continue. How if I really speak my truth, my family will crumble, wrote the record exec's son. That's like telling a boxer he has no right to rumble. Imagine telling a butterfly she has no right to fly, but then the butterfly has died before she's even started. Why is being right to strangers so much important than being vulnerable at home? He continued, seemingly referring to Master P's implied obsession with his own public image. Why is it that I'm soaring and my siblings are not? Probably because, or father, I don't know what that means, didn't give them the same time on the clock. Chase the money or chase the family. You can't do both now because now you're gambling. From there, Romeo directed his poem towards his mother, who he claims is the victim of much scrutiny and has taken on the brunt of the Miller's family's issues through the years. He continued, my mother was so broken for years publicly, and still from the concrete she rose. If people really knew your truth, you'd be strong like mama too. Regardless of the damage, just look deep, because behind every great king, there was a queen that carried on his curses that was never seen. I've tried and tried behind the walls that hide, but maybe social media is the only way to open up this giant's eyes. Let me look at your comments. I look at it like this. I'm going to read the rest of this, but I'm going to provide just a little smidgen of pigeon of commentary right here. Can I say something about value? In our community, hey, Gail, what's going on? Thank you for that. In our community, we don't value people. We value materialism. Does that make sense? Check me if I'm wrong. We value materialism. What does that mean? You aren't considered a black kid with status unless you got Jordans. If you came into the school or came into an environment and you didn't have the latest clothes or trends or video games, or your parents' career wasn't of prestige in the community, you were talked about, you were laughed at. If your father didn't have a job, you were treated as though you were poor, made fun of, ostracized, picked with, bullied. Would anybody have ever known the name of Romeo Miller more than just being Master P's kid if it were not for your father? I'm going to read the rest because I do advocate for children. But I also understand the position of his father. And it's funny, but it's not funny that due to the graphic nature of what I'm about to say, listener discretion is advised. This may be some triggering stuff. But let's go there. A mother's value. Matter of fact, let me rephrase what I'm about to say. I think it's better if I do it that way. Is a mother's value cumulative? Is a mother's value cumulative? What does that mean? From the time she is pregnant until the time that you die, whatever your mother has done for you holds value. Is a father's value based on the last thing he has done for his family and his children? Is that fair to say? I don't know. Sound off in the comments. But it appears to be that way. Don't get mad. It's just what it is, right? A mother's value is cumulative. Everything you've ever done has value. But now, since little Romeo is broke, his father no longer has any more value. And from what I hear, little Romeo has kids, according to Master P. How many times have you all followed me and you've heard me say that children trigger traumas you thought you ran away from? Children trigger traumas that you thought you hid. Triggers traumas that you thought you hid. CC, you said to who? To family or to society? No, all we're talking about, that's a great question. To family. To the family. Whatever the mother does within the family holds value from the beginning and over time. But the father, his value is based on the last major thing that he has provided. How many of you all remember statements like a broke man is like a broke hand? Was it Janet Jackson's songs, What Have You Done For Me Lately? Come on now. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left us was alone. Music Soul Child. I was taught that the real definition of a man was to never cry. Work till you die. Try to provide. The societal definition, the cultural definition, the family definition of a man is someone who works, and provides. See, this whole thing stepped off, or the flashpoint, if you will, the trigger, was when Master P put on a comment about Twitch's passing. For those of you all who don't know, Twitch passed. You know, Twitch was Ellen's DJ, the TV show Ellen DeGeneres, comedian, talk show host. And when Twitch died, there's still the talk to this day about mental illness. Twitch was supposed to be involved in something with Master P, and Master P said his condolences and talked about mental health, and that was the trigger that set off the issue with Romeo Miller. Come to be that Tatiana Miller, Romeo's sister, Master P's daughter, also passed because of fentanyl intoxication, or so it is said. And so instead of talking about that, why would he talk about that publicly? He chose to lend his voice to Twitch's situation, and I guess that was too much for Romeo. See, this is what happens when you, as a family or even individually, value materials over people. What's up, Marquise? This is what happens when you value materials over people. Let's continue to read this so we can get more context in this. And I will drop the link for anybody else who wants to come up. Okay, so XXL just did its own thing. And yeah, that's nice. That's very nice. So now I got to find a way to, I hate this. Okay. All right, here we go. That was stupid. All right. Let's see. We talked about that already. Yes, we did. Here we go. Let's go past that. If you want to read the poem, you're more than welcome to. Here we go. Once Master P caught wind of his son's emotional poem on Sunday, he too went to Instagram, not only to defend himself against his son's accusations, but to also counter Romeo's claims by explaining that social media is not the proper outlet to address matters of mental health and family issues. Now, here is where I disagree with Master P. Master P said, the new generation of kids need to stop blaming their parents for everything. That is where this thing is just something else. That is where I disagree. That is where I disagree. The reason I disagree with this is the fact that parents, you are not the problem. The problem is the problem. And the problems that you have exhibited throughout a child's upbringing could, in fact, be the very reason they are the way they are today. And as long as you keep running from that, as long as you keep hiding from that, as long as you keep withholding the truth about the trauma bonding relationship that you and his father or you and his mother had, life would test the gangster of that child and will force that conversation back to the forefront. So then Master P says this new generation of kids need to stop blaming the parents for everything. For everything, you have a point. But for certain things, you could, in fact, be the reason why they are the way they are. And that doesn't make you a bad person. But that does make it a situation that needs to be talked about. And a situation that both parties need to heal from. So let me give you a suggestion. I know Master P won't watch this, but for those of you all who do, take a notepad, a legal pad preferably. Give it to your child. And tell your child they need to write down, or ask them, would they write down everything that they have ever done or that you have ever done to hurt them? I'll say it again. Would it be too much trouble if you wrote down everything that I have ever done to hurt you? I would love for you to express your feelings. And why do I say write it down? Because the conversation needs to be structured. Why do I say structured? Because when you're emotional and when you're trying, hold on for a minute, I'll answer your question in a minute, William. When you're emotional and you're trying to get your point across, you're all over the place. In order for us to get anything done, the conversation needs to be structured. And that's how you're going to identify the problem. Identify the problem, understand the problem. If you're all over the place and it's not in any kind of order, we're not going to be able to solve anything because we're not going to know the beginning, middle, and end, start, middle, finish, all of that stuff. Now, William, you said you think that's a way for Master P to save face or get of being accused of, I don't know. Retype that, William. I don't know. I'm not going to try to make sense of that. Retype that. I don't know if it's a way for him to save face. I am not going to. He even said he wasn't perfect. He said he wasn't perfect. He said he was willing to do the work. He said he was willing to do the work. So my thing is, I'll read your comments in a minute. My thing is, if he's willing to do the work, if he's willing to, say that he wasn't perfect, he made mistakes. Why are we Why are we not allowing them to make this right? Alexander asked the question, is Master P's response to his son a reflection of how he perceives his son's emotional concerns about his parenting? It's possible. It is possible. Do you think that Master P, that's a way for Master P to save face or to get out of being accused of mistakes? I really don't think that Master P is trying to avoid the conversation about making those mistakes. But I don't think he wants to have that conversation publicly. Do you think Master P has not had to do some things he wouldn't want to be known publicly to keep his family afloat? Let's have that conversation. Do you really think that Master P has not had to do some things that he wouldn't want to be made public to keep his family afloat? But my question is this. When you are teaching them so much, strike that, take the teaching back. When you're providing so much and you're giving so much and you're not teaching them how to get, or if you're teaching them how to get and they're not taking in those lessons, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? This is a troubling one right here. This is very troubling. And the reason I think about it being very troubling is you will find that your children will treat you differently if you've been so used to giving them everything. The minute you tell them no, now you're crazy. Now you got a mental health problem. Now you're this. Now you're that. That's troubling. And I did some research listening to some other content creators and listening to other people to see their take on it. And it seems to be the men in this situation are definitely saying, yeah, because I remember a time with my child, this and that. Yeah, I remember a time with my child, that and this. And I told my child no, and then they went to social media and aired laundry or said this or said that. And from what I hear, like I said before, Romeo Miller has children. Shit's different when you got your own kids, ain't it? It's different when you got your own kids. You broke? Damn. You know how many actors and musicians actually have to get regular jobs? But you broke. No one ever told you that's a thing that's possible? As many times as your dad talked about getting it from the mud, the grimy things they had to do or he had to do to get to the position of where he is now, and you didn't listen to any of those lessons. I remember hearing him say those things. If you go back and watch the movies, listen to the songs, they're still on YouTube. They're still on YouTube. And better yet, here's this. You don't even have to do what your father has or is doing. Now, Alexander, you said that took a lot for Romeo to admit they are living paycheck to paycheck. The rest of us who have had to do that, your point, your point, you said send you the link. Your point? What's your point? What is your point? Please tell me. What is your point? As many times as I have heard your dad talk about the blueprint and talk about the things that you could do to actually be a success, if you put your mind to it, you haven't taken any opportunity to listen to those lessons and actually apply them yourself. It sounds to me like you were expecting your dad to be rich forever. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing. Nothing lasts forever. And like I said before, this is what happens. I'm sending it to you. Sorry, I'm sending it to you now, Marquise. This is what happens when you value people, strike that, materials over people. This is what happens when you value materials over people. And I hate to say it. Dude, not even Blue Chew. I tell you what, Lil Romeo, you know who else out there struggling? Lil Bow Wow. Didn't y'all both come up in the same time frame? Lil Bow Wow and Lil Romeo. Lil Bow Wow and Lil Romeo. See, and I can't even, I'm going to go even more controversial. Do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that like button, please. Smash that like button, share this conversation, because this is going to be a family conversation. This is a conversation that's definitely needed to be had. And I'm the controversial person that's going to have it. And I'm dressed like I should be somebody godfather to have the conversation. Let's have that conversation. Did you get it, Marquise? Marquise probably putting on his suit and tie. Marquise, go ahead and put on your suit and tie. Go put your suit and tie on, baby. Go put your suit and tie on. I'm going to send it to you again the other way, like I normally do. Yeah, I send it to you the other way, too. This is not a Master P and Romeo issue. This is a black culture issue. You heard what I said. This ain't a Master P issue. This is a black culture issue. Let me tell you how. See, here's what some of y'all going to drop off. Mike, stop cooning. Oh, God, let me say it so you don't say it. Right? Let me say it so you don't say it. This is a black culture issue. We don't value family. We don't teach the lessons that need to be taught to our boys so they can be valuable beyond dick, money, comfort, children. Dick, money, comfort, children. A broke man is like a broke hand. You heard Chris Rock say it. Dogs are loved unconditionally. Women are loved unconditionally. Men are only loved on the condition they provide something. And this is why I say to you men, to you fathers, never love anyone or anything so hard you lose yourself. And I'll tell you why. Does that mean don't love your children? Hell no. Love them with all your heart. But don't love anyone so hard you lose yourself. Because when that time comes, for those who don't like you, who seek to destroy you, they will use the things that mean the most to you that you love, the things and the people who are closest to you that you love, and they will weaponize them and those things against you to cause you to psychologically lose it. And then when you lose it, they will claim that you have a mental issue. I am not missed of the point that it is highly likely that Romeo was weaponized against his father. I am not surprised. Gail is a moderator on many platforms, I believe. I know the ones that you're a moderator on. Shouts out to the lead attorney. Shouts out to the Godfather, Kevin R. Samuels. Shouts out to other people who advocate for men, not throwing women to the side. That's not what we're about. We are about togetherness. But I'm telling you this, you will hear of the times where the children are weaponized. There was a man, I forgot in what town he was in, where he was going through a custody dispute with his ex-wife over his children. And then he got with another young lady, got her pregnant, and then when they fell out, the lady who he got pregnant said, I'm going to do the same thing to you that your ex-wife did to you. You know what he did? Wiped them all out and himself too. And this is why I say this. Ladies, if you are a mother of boys, it is extremely important that you teach these boys skills beyond dick, money, comfort, and children. I sit here and I see, and I'll end, and Marquise will have his say because I know he's got plenty to say. But I have sat here and seen moms, you're not the problem. You are not the problem. But the behavior that is being exhibited is the problem. And sometimes we can't separate the two. So let me help you understand. I am not the problem. The problem is the problem. Say it. Got it. So you're not the problem. The behavior is the problem. When you sit here and say, oh, man, I'm doing a great job. My kids are doing great in school. That ain't your report card, boo-boo. That's not your report card. Your report card is moments like this. Your report card is moments like this where after the materialism fades, after the money is dry, after the cars are repossessed, after the houses are foreclosed, after the account is dry, do you all still have value in each other to where you can survive during the tough times? And the answer apparently for No Limit Master P, Lil Romeo, is obviously no. Why? Because that family is a derivative of the culture that values materials over people. So you mean to tell me the father that has been there all this time, that has had to do things you know and don't know of, that has kept this family together all this time, all of a sudden has no more value? You little fuck. You little ungrateful fuck. Now, is he perfect? No. Could he stand to do some things better? Yes. Is he willing to do the work? Yes, which is surprisingly different than what other people even get from their parents. But no, that shit's not good enough. Not only do you use the term gaslight, which is a bunch of overused bullshit, not only do you seek to destroy him for the sake of your mental health, but then after all this shit is over with, guess who can still be there for you and will still be there for you? Your father. You little fuck. And that right there, parents, is what happens when you give your children everything and don't teach them the value of people. And the Black community is drowning in that shit. The 10-year-old boy who sat there and deleted his mom because of the habit she fed him by giving him games. And then when you tell him no and he's addicted to it, you want him to take it, but he can't. And now they're going to condemn that 10-year-old boy who still has the mind of a boy to the fiery pits of the prison system. You got one young lady that I was talking to her on social media. I will not say her name. But her son was out there, allegedly. Matter of fact, here we go right here. Anybody knows a 15-year-old boy named, won't say his name, from a certain suburb who either goes to a certain house or a certain high school or used to go there, please put me in connection with his mom or family. My 13-year-old son keeps running away and hanging with him and his friends stealing cars. He's one of the blank boys. I need to speak to an adult ASAP. Whatever it takes to save my son. If you see him, please call the police. Lord Jesus. You willing to give your son to the fucking police? And then I do the victimology because I'm nosy as fuck. And I go on her social media page and I see why he's doing what he's doing. And that doesn't make you a problem, Mom. But, Mom, there is a problem that is in you that you have to address. You are the best therapy he will ever get. But you got to be willing. But 9 times out of 10, he blames his father for not being there too. Dad always gets the blame. Always gets the blame. So for you people, and I'm going to land with this, hard stop. You people who talk about, look at the fathers who aren't there. Look at the fathers who aren't there. Look at the father who is. The father who is still getting the same blame, just like the dad who isn't there. Go ahead, Marquise.
Yep. So, wait, can everybody hear me? Just making sure. Bet.
So, like for detail. I'm just playing.
Shit. I am downtown, but not for that shit. But no. So the thing is this, and there's always going to be the concept, and you already hit it on the head, which is, what is the problem? You've heard way too many times, and you've seen it on social media. You hear it all the time. You see it on social media. You hear it on social media. You hear it on YouTube. I do for my kids. My kids, I do this. I do this. My kid, I don't understand what's wrong with my kid. My kid has everything. What are you talking about when you said your kid has everything? Whenever a kid screws up, that's the first thing that will come out of a parent's mouth. I don't understand why they're doing this. They were raised in a good household. They were this, they were that, they were this, they were that. They never wanted for anything. I made sure they had the finest clothes. I made sure they had the best PlayStations. You always hear about the material reason why a kid shouldn't be acting up. You always hear about the material reason why a kid shouldn't be acting up. And the shit is amazing because it becomes your reasoning in your head on why you're a good parent. Because what one of the biggest things you will always hear, especially from our community, you're gonna have to crucify me for this one. My kids want for nothing. How do you know? How the hell you know your kids want for nothing? You don't know what your kids want, and if they want for nothing based on one factor. You're placing the want on tangible things. You're placing the want. Your kids want for nothing because you're speaking tangibly. You're speaking of the materialistic things why a kid shouldn't be acting up. Well, they have everything they want. I don't know why they're acting like this. Do they have a psychiatrist? And again, we're going to talk about psychiatry versus psychology, which we've done multiple times, because there is a difference. One prescribes medication, one prescribes help. And there's a big ass difference between medication and help. Unfortunately, a lot of our communities don't understand that shit. I saw a comment just recently as I was watching you talk. Someone made the statement that if I have a boy, I'm going to send him to his father because I can't teach him to be a man. Ma'am, that is bullshit.
For sure.
I was raised by my mother.
Yep.
And I am no less of a man today than any other day of the fucking week. And I excuse for using the language, but hey, that shit hit my heart real hard when I heard a woman say that.
Yeah.
My mother was a motherfucking G, all right? She took nothing from nobody and still raised me to be a man. There was some male figures here and there. I had my brother, I had my uncle, my father every now and then. But guess what? None of that created me to become, in our culture, as a black person, a bitch as we know the N-word that follows that. Because that's usually what comes up. Oh, well, if you're raised by women, then you gain the emotions and the emotional tithings of a woman. You know, you grab their energies and you do women like things. Shit, no, I've never done that crap. Right. So guess what? It ain't about the sex of the, and again, I'm saying sex. Gender is a construct of mental mentalities, psychological and social. Gender does not exist in real fucking life. I digress. Anyway, it doesn't matter the sex of the parent as long as the parenting is done right. That's the difference. If you the mother who's running 3 or 4 dudes to your crib every week, then yes, that's not the example your kids should see. If you're the father who's running 4 or 5 women to your crib every week, that's not the mentality that your kids should see. It's what your kids see on a daily basis. What you are showing them of who you are is what makes the difference in the child's upbringing. What do they see every day when they see you? That's the question. Now, don't get it twisted. A kid is going to do whatever they want to do. They are. They're going to either become the next billionaire or the next criminal or the next rapper or the next Instagram. It's all about the influences.
Yes.
What influences them now? Hell, most of you people got TikTok. Raise your hand if you got TikTok. There's been more studies that shows that TikTok in America is more toxic than alcohol. Because what they feed us in America on TikTok is toxic as hell. But if you look at the place where it originated, Kids under 16 or 14 are limited to 40 minutes of TikTok.
Mm.
The app does not allow them to look over 40 minutes. And they can only look at stuff that is scientific or educational. They don't see people dance on top of tables. They don't see people becoming TikTok famous for doing something stupid. They do things differently. But guess what? You will blame the technology. But who put the technology in their hands?
The parent. Swept down. They don't want the responsibility.
Again, I can't go to a damn restaurant without seeing grown adults, and even if they do have kids, they're sitting there with a tablet. They're sitting there with a phone. They're sitting there with some electronic device in their hand at a effing dinner table.
Yeah.
That pisses me off to my core. I won't put my phone on a dinner table. Because if I'm eating, do not disturb. I'm not going to stop my chewing because you ask me a question. I'm an instructor 24/7, 365, except when I'm eating.
Yep.
Except when I'm eating, except when I'm sleeping. And I've even responded to messages on the toilet. So again, eating and sleeping is my limit. And Mike, you could back me up on this.
Hey, you
my
right.
phone went off a couple of times. You like shit.
A porcelain guy, baby.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that if you are parenting correctly, you won't know. And don't look at your kid to show you if you did a good job. Your kid is not an emulation of the job you did as a parent. I hate to be that person to say that. I don't believe it. Because I've seen way too many serial killers who were raised in great homes.
But
when I say that, I'm not talking about rich. I'm not talking about rich. I'm talking about emotionally, they were loved. Of course, maybe they had the roof over their head, the clothes on their back, but they were emotionally loved and held. Think about the same thing for a person who commits suicide. Mental wiring does not always determine what the person is going to do based on their environment. It's called mental wiring. However your brain is wired and how you see the world is literally chemical in your body dealing with your brain. Because think about it. How do you explain a person who feels like they have no hope when they have support systems?
But what are these support systems, though? Because if we look at it, here is where I understand what Gale at Night, Will Smith could be a prime example. And matter of fact, let's talk about that. We're looking at Will Smith, and I'm going to give you.
Can we look at Will Smith, though?
Yeah, we absolutely can. And I'm going to break it down. Because when Will Smith went through that situation and he smacked Chris Rock, right?
Oh, that situation.
Yeah, when he smacked Chris Rock, his mother, his auntie, his sisters came to his defense talking about what kind of person Will was. I'm waiting for the man.
Ain't none.
Hold on. What I'm waiting for the man or for any other husbands, any other male figures that could come up and say anything. And so here is what I'm saying to those of you all who think this sounds like misandry or misogyny or whatever freaking word you want to add to it. No, I'm not going to let you label this as that. What I'm going to tell you is this. Support systems for putting food on the table, clothes on your back, a roof over your head, pot to piss in, one to throw it out of, a person to watch you when I got to work overtime, a person to pick you up when I can, a person for birthday parties and all that stuff. Cool. Got it. Check that box. No. Well, let me tell you this. Gail, I don't typically get into debates when we're talking about whether or not a woman can raise a boy to be a man. I'm not looking at it from the perspective of sex or gender. I'm looking at it from the perspective of...
Use a G word.
Yeah, I know. But I'm looking at it from the perspective of skills. That's what I'm looking at. And see, if we get beyond the value of him being valuable for the length, the width, and the use of his genitals, how big his bank account is, how good he is at comforting you and being emotionally available to you while that is important. And then, just him being able to go out there and have a job. He has so much more value than that. Mm-hmm. You have as a woman, have so much more value than the shape, the depth, and the wonderful smell of your genitals, the curvature of your shape, the ability to produce children and do chores around and rub the feet and all these other gender roles. I'm looking at it from a teamwork perspective. In the same way that if you look at the marriage statistics of whose marriages survive longer, Asians. Let me tell you why.
No choice.
In Japan, well, that's part of it too, but in Japan in 1947, both children, both genders, sexes, whatever, in the 5th grade get taught home economics. Why? So that both persons can be partners in dividing up the task. That increases your value in having home life skills. But it takes time to teach. It takes energy to teach. It takes patience to teach. It takes knowledge. Some of you can't stand when your children test you. Some of you can't stand when your children backtalk you, when there's no such thing as backtalking, when they are in the position where they need to be taught. It's no such thing as them disrespecting you when respect, the literal definition of respect, matter of fact,
pull it up.
We're going to put that on the doggone. Y'all going to learn today.
And you know what? And you actually did a trigger moment on that one, because that is something I have told so many adults. Can you explain to me, as if I'm a kindergartner, what the word respect means?
Yes.
And I'm like, you have to use words like I'm a kindergartner. If you can't explain to me like a kindergartner, don't talk to me about respect, because that means you yourself don't understand it either.
Right.
Which is the same thing I tell instructors. Do you teach kids? If you don't teach kids, then you're not an instructor. And the reason why I say that is because you're so used to teaching adults that your job is easy, because you can talk in a language adults can understand. Can you teach a kid?
Absolutely.
That means that you understand it enough that you can break it down to anyone. Ooh, nope, I don't like that definition.
No. Here we go. We're not going that far. We're not going that far into it. That's the only thing I want to capitalize on right now.
I like number 2 better.
I see you saying you like, okay. But see, look, hold on. We're talking about due regard for the feelings of others. We just want to stick to a feeling, and hear me out. And then I'll land it to hear you in terms of why you like number 2, because your perspective is important, right? But a feeling. So before we even get to anything else, let's look at the definition of respect, and that is a feeling. We don't even let children have their own feelings. Why do their feelings have to be what we like to hear? Why do their feelings have to be what we want them to say? My children can never disrespect me, number 1, because they are entitled to their feelings and I am entitled to mine. Why? Those are the things that we own. And if a child cannot own their own feelings, then how will they ever have empathy for others? If they cannot own their own feelings, how will they ever be able to empathize with someone else's? It's not about right or wrong. It's not about good or bad, moral or immoral. Now, should they act out on everything they feel? No, but can they at least have their feelings? And the minute a child sits here and has a feeling that doesn't agree with the parent tries to talk them out of the very feelings that they have instead of trying to understand those feelings. You don't have to like them, but understand them. And this is why respect gets taken out of context, because we're not talking about respect as it relates to honors, customs, and traditions, as in the military, as in court, as in other places where it's customary. All rise. You're standing up for the judge, not for the person, but for the office. We're not talking about those kinds of customs, but we're talking about just interpersonal communication. Children can't even have their own feelings. So I knew if children can't have their own feelings, we don't let adults have their own feelings.
And you already hit it on the head. Why I like number 2. What you just said, dealing with respect, dealing with the word empathy.
Yes. Due regard.
Look at number 2.
I see it.
Number 2 is empathy.
Yes.
And that's the reason why I like number 2 better than number 1, because I don't like having deep admiration for anything. Well, first of all, you can have deep admiration for a fucking pedophile and don't realize that it's wrong.
Okay. You got a point.
So that's why I like deep admiration.
But here's this, though.
Right.
If you look at it, a feeling of whatever else follows, notice, based upon what you said, it proves the point. I can't have due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, and traditions of others until I am allowed to have my own way.
Correct. So here's the thing, though. If you yourself don't have regard for your feelings, how can you have regards for others? Which is what? You just used the E word. Empathy. Empathy is literally regard for someone's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, I know it's not the textbook definition, but the first 5 letters in that definition is empathy.
Yep.
That's all sympathy. That's all literally respect is. Are you empathetic to someone else's anything? That's all it is.
Yep.
That's literally all it is. That's what respect is. It's empathy. It's due regard for the feelings, wishes, and traditions of others. Damn, why did I just do that verbatim? Leave me alone, stay on my business. But that's how I've always expressed respect.
Right.
That's always how I express respect. I bring down the simplest words possible to describe respect. I can't explain to a kid respect using the word admiration without breaking down admiration.
Right.
So again, if I can't explain it to a kindergartner, I don't expect to teach it to an adult until I understand it enough for me to explain it, which is, in my opinion, what makes you the better instructor is, can you break anything you do down to the lowest level of intelligence? Now, what did I not say? Everyone likes to use the word LCD, the letters LCD, lowest common denominator. I don't consider anyone a lower common denominator. You all freaking matter.
Mm-hmm.
You all matter. So I never call you a low common denominator. It's the lowest level of intelligence. And that's what it's about. That's why I say the word respect. People got it twisted. If you don't understand what respect is, how do you teach someone, including your own children, what respect is? You can't teach what you yourself don't understand.
And this is another issue too. When you look at it, it's about money. That's what this all is about. This is about money. This is about money.
So explain to me from the perspective when you say this is all about money. Is it all about money from the Romeo perspective or from the Master P perspective?
Romeo, he broke.
So now I heard someone acknowledge, man, it takes a lot to admit you live paycheck to paycheck. Who gives a damn?
Right.
I don't care if you do or don't. But again, what was more important to you growing up and having a father that mentored you about not blowing your money and investing in your money? Mm-mm. Everything about Master P was always about investing in money, investing in this, investing in that. He had basketball teams. He had stadiums made. He always invested his money.
Right. But when
you didn't see Master P trick off his dough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, for example, one of the things that people talk about, and it's always funny to me, because they make memes about it now. Would you rather have $100,000 or dinner with Jay-Z? And a lot of people are like, yeah, I want dinner with Jay-Z. you're assuming that Jay-Z is going to give you the keys to the castle that tells you how to become rich.
Take that $100,000.
Give me that $100,000. I can give two shits about hanging out with Jay-Z, because unless you can say dinner with Jay-Z where he gives you a business plan you can follow to make you very successful, that's going to work, then I can give two shits with eating with that man.
Boy, I'm gonna tell you this.
I can take $100,000, go take a $5,000 course on money management, if not cheaper, and hang out with my man Mike, and then pass the information on to other people who want to become rich.
Boy, please.
Why can't I just do that? But everybody, yeah, man, you know, I want to hang out with Jay-Z because Jay-Z done been there, done it. Jay-Z is who he is. Now, did he sell did he sell drugs? Did he do this? Did he do that? I don't know. Most quote unquote gangster rappers and shit like that literally have never busted a grape in a fruit fight. Now, the ones you know are the ones who don't rap about it. Because guess what a real criminal doesn't do?
They don't talk. Well, now they do. Now they do.
Yeah, now they do, because it's a new generation.
Yeah,
when you look at the new generation, think about it. Your new generation of people, that's why I laugh when they say, I'd rather send it to a man. What's your definition of a man now? Do you realize that the word for a masculine man now is toxic? A man who is a man by old standards is considered a toxic male now.
There you go, man.
Now, if you imagine this shit, yeah, is it some dudes that are extra macho for no damn reason? Sure, I agree with you. But guess what? That's the motherfucker who will pick you up and walk you or run you out of a fire. Versus some of the men working around now with capri pantsuits. Like, don't play games, because your definitions of men now, shit. Dude, I literally witnessed today a man calling someone's name in a whisper on a Chicago street with traffic. And I just got manly and screamed the person's name for him so he can actually hear the name of his name being called. And the dude turned around, hey, what? Exactly. He couldn't hear you whispering his name because it's loud out here. You are a man with a balls and a meat and two veg. Use that testosterone to elevate your voice to get that person's attention who in a loud street can't hear you. But guess what? What I probably did was considered toxic because I was loud and I was abrupt. But once again, what would you want me to do? Would you want me to be that person who sees a person passed out inside of a car that can use his elbow to break open that window, get that door open, and give him some CPR? Or would you rather be the man who doesn't want to hurt his elbow or hurt his arm and be calling the police, waiting for police to get there? Which toxic man do you want? You want toxic that's going to do what needs to be done, or the one that's going to wait and pray that, oh my God, I hope everything's going to be okay when the police gets here? Think about now, even with football.
Thank you.
I remember playing football. We used to smash quarterbacks. Smash quarterbacks. We used to smash wide receivers. We used to smash running backs. Now you hit them and they go down hard. We now sit on the sidelines and we pray that they're okay. Dude, we used to take off their shoes, take off their sock, put it in our helmet, and run around with that bitch. Because we were men who played a sport. Now it's, oh my God, listen, maybe I hit him too hard and now he won't recover. Oh my God, let's pray. You out of your goddamn mind. You paid me to run people over. Guess what I'm going to do to people?
Run them over.
Run them over. Beep, beep. In fact, no beep, beep.
That's why I was in the band, not in football. I ain't got time. You got Marquise coming your way. Shit. All right?
Man.
Listen. Master P clapped back at Romeo, accusing his son of using the recent deaths of both DJ Twitch and his sister Tatiana Miller to complain about money, implying that Romeo is greedy. I thought this was about DJ Twitch and about my daughter's death. This is heartbreaking. You just exposed that this is really about money. You started this social media rant. I get it. I'm just an ATM for this family. I don't care about an image. You know, I just look at this as very sad. And at the end of this beef, it's not gonna make him get any money. You know, exactly. So what's your plan besides showing the world that you're entitled? spoiled at 30 plus, and throwing a tantrum on social media. Never claimed to be perfect. I've never seen him claim to ever be perfect. I don't, huh?
No. Dude, have you ever, I hate to say it, oh my God, I hate to even admit this. Did you ever watch the Little Romeo show?
I've never watched the Little Romeo show.
Okay, so your kids are young. Wait, how old is your youngest?
Yeah.
Disregard that. I'm sorry. So yeah, my kids.
Hold on, my youngest is 4.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So yeah, my kids are now all 18. So
look at this.
Exactly. Was he complaining about money then?
Hell no, he wasn't complaining about money then. He was happy to be in the limelight.
So the thing is this: you realize that you had to, and again, this is something and again, I know it's going to be mixed opinions. Do you work to leave your family money, or do you work to enjoy your money?
Me?
Anybody? Just anybody.
Shit, if you asking me honestly, man, I'm kind of like Shaq. You remember how Shaq said, "This is
you catching it."
Yeah, this is my money. This is not your money. You know what I'm saying? This is my money. This is not your money. If I die, you get it. You get it. But you know, and it's like I don't want to take the full Shaq statement, because I do. Here's what: if I had the chance to craft a perfect, I don't want to say perfect. Let me abandon that word. But the
ideal,
best case, or the ideal scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I would love to see. I would love to see me, wife, honestly, not doing shit by myself, because I do value family.
As any man would.
Children, and wife and I are partners. We are a team. And not only do we assist each other in the daily task, right? We also teach the children how to be responsible by making sure they have the skills for home life, right?
So make them better people, not just better kids, make them better adults, husbands and wives for somebody else.
Absolutely. To help them be qualified as a husband and as a father, to help them be qualified as a wife and as a mother. Now, do I want them to do great in school? Absolutely. But as a father, I understand that my report card is not their grades. I'm going to say this again. My report card.
Take yourself further.
Yeah.
Not their grades and what?
Not their grades and not what job they choose. Or
I was going to say their fucking diploma, but go for it.
Oh, I thought you was like the trigger, like, oh shit. Not what gun they choose.
Yeah, your report card for your kids is not their grades, not their diplomas, and not their job choices.
Absolutely. Those are not my grades. My grade as a parent, as a father, in an ideal situation, let's just say I had the knowledge that I have now and I could do some shit over, right? It would be, I'm happy you got wonderful grades. I'm happy that you've graduated. But my report card isn't until you go out and life test your gangster, and you know you can come back to me for advisement as if you would a college advisor. See, the greats have mentors. The greats remain students of the profession of life and the profession of whatever they do. So that way, my son doesn't get married until he's in his 30s, after the brain has fully matured and he's gotten at least a 10-year internship in life after high school. Because what you
say that part again.
Yeah.
How many years?
10-year or more internship in life after high school. because what you do under this roof, when life tests your gangster, that's when you begin to learn about the gray. And then you will have had experience. See, we have the collections of 5 things: needs, education, experiences, habits, and motivations. If you don't have experience, you don't have anything to compare to that education to give you balance in your decision making. And so here you are, and I hope I'm talking to some of you young guys that call yourself being married and young. I hate to say it, but a great percentage of you are going to find yourself divorced because you don't know what you're doing.
Or you're taking the advice that you're hearing on this show that might help you out and make you make some changes now.
That could be the case. That could be the case. That could be the case.
Because guess what? Again, the show is still about intervention.
For sure.
Even if we're not talking about concealed carry or whatever else, it's still about intervention to stop you from doing something stupid. Like, hey, you're, again, take the flowers or take the free ammo.
Yep, Dizzy Dam. I guess that's your name. I think he in his 20s, he says, soaking up all the game. Outstanding. I'm glad you here. I'm 28, no kids, never been married. Now, boy, hey, class is in session. Class is in session. You didn't lit the fires. We about
with full salute.
Hold on. You see how both of our hands are in the right spot. You don't see one like this. You see, you got 2 service members here. Right. Yep. But we're here to tell you that before you get into a situation, this is why I have said it before. Fall in love with value first before you fall in love with love. You don't want to have a loveless relationship or marriage, but value. When the love fades, where is the value? The love between these two, father and son, though the son may not love his father, the father definitely loved his son. But where's the value? That son wasn't taught to see the value in his father. That son
and his lessons.
Huh?
His father and his lessons.
Yes. That son was only taught to see the value in his money. Money was the father, not the father being the father.
Because Romeo got no excuse. For every damn thing that Master P did, who was always next to him?
His father.
His family.
Yep.
Everything Master P did, he always had his family involved. When he opened up the was it the arena? Because I think he bought a sports team and an arena, or did he buy an arena?
Sure.
Whatever he bought, his family was there with him when he bought it.
Matter of fact,
when he did the Nickelodeon show, his family was on the Nickelodeon show. When they did videos, his family was there on the video shoots. Everything he did, which invested money to make Master P, because don't get it twisted, make him say and his rap career didn't make him rich. Stop playing. No Limit where's No Limit right now? Limited or non-existent. Because I ain't heard another artist or another album come from No Limit Records.
Soldier of the Mother.
Because think about it. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Help me out. I've never heard, did No Limit still even exist?
Keep going.
So when you look at that one factor, he invested in No Limit and other things to make him rich.
Because the irony. Go ahead.
So again, it wasn't that, I'm a happening rapper and I'm making all this money as a rapper and I ain't gonna never have to do anything else the rest of my life. Are you serious? Right. What do you think the first thing most rappers started going to when they figured this shit out? I hate to admit, they went to fashion. Think about it. Almost every successful rapper who stopped rapping, so to speak, have either clothing or some other damn thing they have working on that help them out. Think about it. Just think about it. They had to figure out something else to make money because they knew damn well after a while, I'm gonna have to stop doing this for one day. Look at Jay-Z. I hate the dude. I truly dislike him a lot because I think he's lame. But let's take the factors of his money. He made so much money as a rapper. He took over. I think he didn't take over Rocka. Did he become something else, or did he take over Rockefeller?
Jay-Z, he might have taken over Rockefeller and partnered with Dame Dash. Matter of fact, I give you
because him and Dame Dash had beef. So no, they separated.
Yeah, Dame Dash low key mad at Jay-Z.
He's gonna stay consistently mad at Jay-Z because he kept talking about how he made Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And the thing is like that's the reason why Jay-Z had that one line. You said you made Hove, okay, make another Hove.
Facts.
Which you can't do. So the thing, Rock Nation, okay, there it is. So he made his own thing, investment. Rock Nation has own investments. He is now, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he buy a piece of the NFL or something?
I don't know. I don't know his whole story.
I think he's a part of the NFL right now because I think he's the one who was responsible for some of the musical talent that you see now at the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Tidal. Yeah, Tidal.
So, yeah.
He has some other he got a lot of investment.
He's a club owner, according to Shanice.
Yeah.
So again, he didn't stop at rapping because he is smart enough to realize, I can't rap forever. He retired and came back. I don't know how you retire from rap. It's okay. It's not in my profession, so I don't really know. So you retired from rap and came back. I didn't know you could retire. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know like you can hang up a jersey or hang up a microphone. Who the hell knows? Who the hell cares? But guess what? They made other investments. Now, the ones who didn't make investments, those are the ones you still see to this day touring and doing shows damn near. Look at Genuine.
I don't know.
You look at Genuine right now versus Genuine then. Genuine thought the money was going to take him forever. He thought Genuine being Genuine was going to make him rich and keep him rich. Now you see his goofy ass can't even do the moves he used to do, and he's going like he did something. No. The only people I knew that literally can make it on talent alone are dead. One of them was Michael Jackson. But then again, think about what Michael Jackson did. Michael Jackson bought the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
He bought the Dude, do you know how much money that is?
Mm-hmm.
You bought the Beatles masters. Name a black person who's ever made such a power move, but on someone else's stuff. Now, again, you have other people who bought their own masters, like Prince, who did that. I love when Prince did it. But you own someone else's masters, which means you're going to constantly make money. Why do you think when that man died, so many people fought for his estate?
Yeah.
That's what you want. You want the ability to have motherfuckers mad that you died because they was like, hey, man, there's a lot of money missing. Cool. But did you miss me because I'm dead, or do you miss me because of what I provided? And that's why I asked, do you work to leave money, or do you work to enjoy yourself while you're alive with the money? Because you can take your families on trips, you can have memories made, you can do whatever you need to do with that money. But if you're just working to kill yourself, to leave your money to someone else, so someone can say you didn't leave them up for broke, you just left a corpse.
Yeah.
No legacy. You left money. Where's the memories? Where's the legacy?
Seeing this picture is sad. It really is.
It really is sad because you look at this picture you got right now versus what they have going on right now.
Yeah. You
mad at me because you didn't figure out how to do your money correctly.
But you know what? In fairness, I can almost guarantee you that's why I like keeping track of what you teach your kids. This is why I've created those journals, what I teach my children and what my parents taught me. Because where's the proof that he taught his child?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just talk facts. If called to court to testify, where is the proof that he taught his child?
Right.
Don't tell me, well, look at him. You see, look at the thing. No. Where's the proof that he taught his child? This is right. Why everything that I'm teaching, I'm documenting. Why am I documenting everything that I teach? One, to boost my own self-esteem and boost my own value about what it is that I do, because other people will tear you down and we'll tell you that you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that when you got the receipts. See, I hate to say it, but let's go there again. A woman is, I'm gonna read the comment in a minute. A woman is given the benefit of the doubt. A man has to have proof.
Boy, say that again.
Devontae's comment,
man.
I think my problem is that if what Romeo says is true, rather than taking his son's money and putting it in a savings account, he allegedly used it to pay his back taxes and took big cuts from his son's money. Like this is a common thing with child celebrities and supposedly is happening with all his kids. If true, that's messed up. Okay, yes, in part it is, but is it?
Right.
My thing is this. Let's take away Master P's status. Let's take away the money. Let's take away the back taxes. Let's take away all that stuff. Does his father still have value?
Wait a minute.
Let's take away all that stuff. Does his father?
He took it from his kids and not his other artists?
Doesn't even matter to me.
No, I'm wondering. No. What I'm saying is this. If what you're saying is true and he took his money, he took money from his kids
you said
his back taxes, but not from his other artists?
Polo the Great, who's making up stuff? I'm not saying he did this or he didn't do this. It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
Polo,
I can't flow with that.
Yeah, Polo, when you come to class, just catch up on the conversation first before you comment. Okay.
Yeah, all right. I can't back that one up. Yeah, because he had multiple artists. If anything, he could have screwed over everyone who worked under him. He could have just paid his back taxes.
He could have. But my thing is this. Here we go. Let's go there. You were still benefiting the whole time, little Romeo. You know how you were benefiting? You wasn't homeless.
You wasn't chainless.
You wasn't chainless. You didn't go without a play. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. How many of you all remember seeing The Wire a long time ago? Yeah,
I never watched an episode of The Wire.
Look, I went there to The Wire. Okay,
I've never watched the episode. Now I guess I have to go watch this show.
Mm-hmm. What was that woman's name? Weebay's wife. Who Lord? She was something else.
Put it down. What was her name?
Weebay's Delonda Bryce. That was her name. Let me pull up her picture because I think that's important to talk about. So, if you matter of fact, let me pull up both of them side by side. Pull up both of them side by side. I think that's an important point to make since we're talking about people in the game and doing whatever. Let's get to that. If it'll even let me scoot over, it probably won't. All right, cool. That's fine. We'll keep it there. So those of you all who ever remember seeing The Wire, let's go there. Bam. Here we go. If you remember this lady right here, this lady is the mother of Weebay. Not Weebay, but Naaman Bryce, right? So Naaman Bryce is Roland Bryce is Weebay. That's who this guy is without the ad. Okay, y'all better donate for the child or otherwise.
I'll send the money to him directly.
You go into the seventh circle of hell, just know that. Okay. So here's Weebay right here.
Wow. He's been in everything gangster.
Hey, we going back. This is Weebay, right? And this is Naaman, right? This is Naaman. Wait for the advertisement to come up, and we're going to sit here and go through what we're going to go through, right? Those of you all who watched it, you know who Naaman is, right? Naaman Bryce. So remember the time when the money was running low. The Barksdale crew had gotten messed up. All of them was in jail for the most part. And Delonda went to go see what's her name? Delonda went to go see Barksdale, Avon's sister, who was basically the accountant for the Barksdale organization, right? What I'm saying is this. She sat there and said, yo, because what ended up happening was Weebay took a lot of murders for the organization because he was getting life in prison for another body he dropped. So he was like, I'm just going to take them all and whatever the case may be. He carried the weight for the organization and did not snitch. Avon made sure Weebay was taken care of. And a part of making sure Weebay was taken care of, Delonda and Naaman were getting taken care of too. But what Delonda was doing was Delonda was buying Naaman all the best clothes, all the nice, famous stuff, the popular stuff, and then living like a fat cat till the money went dry. And now Delonda's trying to go to Avon's sister, talking about some we need more money, we need more money. She's like, I don't have nothing for y'all. And she looks straight over at Weebay, Delonda's son, not Weebay, but Naaman, Delonda's son, and says, son, your mother been paid enough to where your whole college should be paid for and then some. But what can I tell y'all? Nothing lasts forever. And so Delonda tries to come in with some whole, well, we could be telling tales and things like that. Weebay know a lot. You want Avon to get more years? And she's like, I don't give a damn what happens to Avon. Because at that time, Avon and the sister, they had fell out over the fact that her son got killed at the hands of Stringer Bell. So I'm saying all that to say this. There's a lot of truth and reality in some of these shows. And some of y'all like, what the hell is he talking about? Go watch the fucking episode. What I'm saying is this. This woman valued materialism over people. She didn't take that money and make good use of it to make it stretch. What did she do? She thought the faucet was going to be running forever. Nothing lasts forever. Just like Lil Romeo. Now, Lil Romeo, what? He 30? You mean to tell me you ain't been around no broke people? You from New Orleans, you fuck.
Nolans, sir, Nolans.
Whatever. Same difference. You know what I'm saying? You ain't been around no broke folk? Nothing lasts forever. We live in paycheck to paycheck. How did I get live? Welcome to that average life. Oh, and let me guess. You 30 years old now, and now you got a kid. So now you done tacked on a whole $300,000 bill. 33, same difference. Now you got a kid. So you done tacked on a whole $300,000 bill, and you can't even afford yourself. And you gonna attack the family structure. At the end of the day, when you lose everything, all you're supposed to still have is family. Because if you don't have family, you don't have nothing. Isn't that why some of y'all sit there and get pregnant by some of these men so you can create family? Isn't that why some of these men
impregnate what's missing?
Right. Isn't that why some of these men impregnate you? Because they giving you what you want while thinking they gonna be able to keep you. And then when you run off with the baby, now he take you and the baby and then off himself too. Tell me family don't matter. Tell me family don't matter. Tell me family don't matter. Look at your child and tell your child, I made you for love. You're lying. You made that child to create family because you know family matters. The rest of your family abandoned you, and you created someone who had no choice but to love you, to give you a reason to live. And you did it with a man who wanted to keep you, and now you walked away from him with his baby. Trauma bonding is real in our community. I'm not saying it doesn't exist in other communities, so don't come at me with that bullshit. But trauma bonding is very real in our community. And until we start having that conversation, the little thing in Romeo and Master P shit is a carbon copy of who was the last two who was just going through something. 50 Cent and his son Marquise, same shit.
Man, yes, right. Because he put the money on the what is it? he put the money on the floor and said, "Now can I have your attention, or can I spend
some dumb shit. If
Yeah.
you had listened to Curtis 50 Cent's book or read it, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, please. 50 Cent entitled Marquise. Master P entitled Romeo. A lot of fathers who are there in the house entitle their children to a bunch of stuff. Why? Because we ain't shit unless we give y'all shit. Let's talk facts. We ain't shit unless we give y'all shit. Because I'm going to tell you this. I was every bit of a son of a bitch when I told my daughter no. I don't give a fuck. I'll say it. None of the things that I have ever done, that shit don't matter. The only thing that matters for a man is what you last did. What you last did. What you last did. Mom's value is cumulative. A father's value is only based on the last thing that you did for them. And the minute you say no, you got to go. The minute you say no, now you a hoe. The minute you say no, she fucking G.I. Joe. The minute you say no, you out the door. And why is that? When you don't value people over materials. And I'm going to give you a quick test. How can you test whether or not, where my two young men that's still in their 20s, that's still on here that say they got no kids? I'm going to give you a test for you to use. And I'm going to give you my number, 773-644-5000. 773-644-5000. Text me your email address. And I'm going to send to you my book on the family credit report. You need to look at not only the outcomes of your family, but her family too. Matter of fact, let me throw that shit up on the screen. We talking about it right now. This stuff is too important for me not to even bring up. I'm going to show you exactly what the hell I'm talking about. I'm going to show you. It is right here. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about, because I need you to be able to see what I'm talking about. I need you to be able to look at these outcomes. And I'm going to give you a bar graph chart. Here we go. Here we go. This is too important for me to pass up on this. That's not it. Let me shift over to this other one. Good. Share this tab instead. Got it. All right. Here we go. Let me zoom in so you all can see this. Yes. Yes. Perfect. Good.
I'm going to go over my insurance premiums.
You. All right. Well, you know.
Oh crap! I said it out loud.
You did. No, I'm about to say. If you go with Progressive, no, I was playing with you.
So one of the insurance companies I deal with for my consulting firm, they were asking me questions, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're asking me questions about what do I consult on and who do I consult with? Are you asking me that because you want to add more money to you want to charge me more money for my insurance?
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of worried because I answered it truthfully.
Hey. All right, here we go. Now he ain't sleep. I'll be the one to fall asleep before Marquise do. All right, so here we go.
The uniform says I can't go to sleep.
Right. I'm just saying. All right, here we go. Here's what I mean by this. How many husbands, how many wives, how many mothers, how many fathers do you have in not only your family, but in her family? And this is what I mean. If you do the work and you begin to identify, right, how many grandmothers, great-grandmothers, great-grandmothers, mothers, stepmothers, sisters, aunties, niece, whatever, if they're a wife and mother, if you get this workbook, it'll make sense. Then when you begin to put it in a bar graph chart, how many husbands, wives, fathers, and mothers you have in the family, right? Because sometimes, right, I'm telling you, sometimes you don't know until you put it in perspective. If you look at this bar graph chart,
hold on, scroll back down.
Right.
So how you got more husband than wives?
Hey, I don't know. Maybe some of them died. I'm just saying. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about act, right? So if you got 12 husbands, 16 wives, 20 fathers, and 26 mothers, don't this chart seem uneven? Yes. But what does this chart show you? That this particular family in this subset, the value is placed on having more mothers than everything else. And then if you look at these two right here, husbands and wives, there isn't a heavy emphasis in that family placed on marriage. So if there isn't a heavy emphasis in that family placed on marriage,
well, obviously in contraception,
right? If all the men in the family turn the women into baby mamas, what makes you think you're gonna be a wife? If all the women turn the men into baby daddies, what makes you think you're gonna be a husband? You can always tell by looking at the apple how everybody else that came before and touched that apple, treated that apple, and cared about that apple to the point where you can see how juicy this apple is, that it's ripe and ripe for consumption. If you look at the outcomes of the moms, of the dads, of the uncles, of the aunties that came before you, if they don't have healthy, I didn't say happy, but if they don't have healthy marriages where they have a family history of working out problems internally, your shit's gonna be in divorce. Because here's this. If you got a problem and you work for Walmart, it would be crazy for you to go to Subway's management team to try to get an answer for what's going on inside of Walmart.
Not Subway, man. Damn, for real.
Walmart, and I'm just talking about the theory, not the practice. But Walmart or any company worth its salt is supposed to have the problem-solving team within the actual organization. If you got to go outside your family to solve the problems of the family, you don't have a family, you got relatives. If you're the first one to break a generational curse, you might want to hold off before you call yourself committing to something too big. Because first of all, the marital values ain't enough. I promise to love you, have and hold you through the good times and the bad, through sickness and in health, forsaking all others till death do you part. Nothing else in your life has ever lasted till death do you part. Everything has an expiration date. So already your marriage is being started off on a wide, unrealistic expectation. What do you mean through the good times and the bad? You only suffered bad times more than you suffered good. So you don't even know what the fuck good is. What do you mean through sickness and in health? Speaking of sickness and in health, let's get to some deeper questions. I'm about to fuck y'all shit up with all this. You're going to want this book. You're going to want this book. Here we go. In looking at certain things, I'm going to go right to the deep end, to the deep dive in. Come on, fool. There's a lot of pages in this. But I forgot what page I'm even on. Here we go. Do the cultures I belong to have teachers and classes in the following skills? Cooking, child development, health and hygiene, home management and design, education and community awareness, sewing, textiles and clothing management, budgeting and economics, family and home defense. When my mother or father was young, did the culture I belong to have teachers in those skills? Is my mother trained in those skills? Is my father trained in those skills? See, you need to find that out. Because when your mama has sat there and told you all the time that your daddy ain't shit, if he ain't training those skills, but your mama training all those skills, it seems like it's an uneven balance. Your mama wonder why. Well, all the pressure was on me. Well, according to what I did in the research, you was the only person that knew how to do something. So if this was the case and you was the only person that knew how to do what you complaining for, if you knew my daddy didn't know how to do it and you didn't teach him how to do it, of course all the stuff's going to be on you. Why you didn't work with my daddy? Why you didn't consider him part of the team? Wait a minute. Is that? So if you didn't consider him part of the team, let me go on ahead and dive down deep into this book. It's going to piss some more people off. Are my siblings trained in the following skills? Am I trained in the following skills? Oh, so you mean to tell me my siblings are trained in the following skills, but I'm not training them too? Wait a minute. So if you didn't train me in them, what kind of value am I going to have for the shit? Do you even care about my future outcomes? I mean, does any of this stuff make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to look at what skills you have for home. Here we go. Ooh, and this going to hurt. Have I ever been trained in any type of compassion and human care? What about empathy? What about Maslow's hierarchy of needs? What about vital sign measurements? What about CPR? Do your man, do your lady even have a CPR card? So you fuck around and get shot, you ain't got shit. Y'all even got a Stop the Bleed course. You know, I just finished and passed a Stop the Bleed course. It has an online skills component and it has an in-person component. The class was easy to go through. Do you even have those skills? What about life support, everyday medical terminology, wound care, changing bedpans, nutritional management, gunshot wound, immediate first aid, recognizing stroke, immediate action response, recognizing heart attack, immediate action response, labor and delivery, over-the-counter medication uses? What about moving and handling of skills for infirm persons, after-death planning and estate affairs execution, personal career displacement, financial management, recognizing the signs of special needs and how to handle the symptoms? Let me ask you this. If you don't have any of these skills, how are you ready for marriage? How are you going to be a helpmeet when you don't have helpmeet skills? And that go not only for the woman, that go for the man too. Mm-hmm. So how you expect a woman to value you when you don't have nothing that equates to value? Now, don't beat yourself up, because I'm not saying you're less than. I'm just saying these are things to think of.
Yep. What if you don't have besides your genitals?
I'm just saying.
Think about it. For years, women have been doing the same thing. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. I'm gonna wear something nice for him, but he better get me something.
You'll get that same old dick.
And like, it's just I'm gonna give you what you give me, boo.
That's it.
DMX said it.
You'll get that same old dick. You'll get that same. Hey, only thing is she's gonna smell good. Mm-hmm. If she take care of herself, it's always smelling good. If he take care of himself, it's always smelling good. The only difference is it's just gonna last maybe just a little bit longer. They're gonna be just a little bit drunker, and then when y'all both wake up in the morning, same motherfucking situation. Mm-hmm. That's why when you fall out of love, it's over with. That's why when you fall out of love, it's over with. That's why when you fall out of love, it's over with. Just like Master P and Romeo.
Because they fell out of money. Oops.
They fell out of money, and money was the love. So when the money is gone, the love is gone. The value ain't never been seen because the value ain't never been taught. And then what you got? See, for those of y'all who talk about lead by example, I can't. Okay, I had to say something different. So for those of you all who talk about lead by example, choose better words. The reason why I'm saying choose better words is because Master P is the example. But guess what? Just because Master P is the example doesn't mean, if in fact he's the example, it doesn't mean that a person learns from that example. That's why you teach. And you don't just teach about when things go good, you also teach about your failures too.
Now, you're not supposed to be teaching people about your failures and where you went wrong so they can learn from your mistakes.
Of course, right?
Because
failure is a part of success if you learn from the failure. And so
it's almost like watching an instructor who only shoots, but you don't see his target.
I'm just saying.
They shoot a bunch of stuff, but you don't never see their target because they only record when they're doing good.
Ooh, man, I got some bad recordings out there.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it's okay to be human. Yeah, because to be human is to error.
Yep.
And it's okay to be. It's okay. It's okay not to be perfect. It's just the fact that literally, for some reason, it feels that as an individual, you always have to be on your game and on top of stuff. No, that's not true.
It's not even practical.
If you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable, how do you get help when you need it?
That's it.
Right. You ever try to fix a table that has all four legs and it's not wobbly?
Yes.
And you're not that table. So people need to understand that, you are human, you do have errors, and people need to understand that it is okay to go get help. That's something in our community that doesn't freaking happen. And it's like, why do you think that going to go get psychiatric help is a weakness? Same reason why you won't go get that ache and pain checked because you could just wait, you take some tussin and get rid of it. No. The same thing that happens to your body where you refuse to go to the doctor to get that stuff checked is the same thing that happens to the mind when you refuse to get that stuff checked. It's going to fail eventually.
Did you say tussin?
Tussin?
That's what I thought you said. I just want to know that's what you said when you said tussin.
Yeah, I said tussin.
All right, I thought you said tussin.
You know, take some tussin to put, and drink some, hydrate and take some tussin.
That's what I thought you said. I thought you said that tussin right there. I thought you said that tussin. See, when we're talking about, and I'm gonna end with this. When we're talking about going to get help, let me submit to you the following. When you're talking about going to get help, we can talk about psychiatric help. We can talk about this, but I also want to introduce you to something, and I think you're gonna find value in this. So let me go on ahead and put this up here, and then start this slideshow. If you guys are y'all really valuing this conversation? Let us know in the comments. I think that's important to know because we are artists and we sensitive about our shit. You see what I'm saying? So
you better call Tyrone.
I'm just saying. Thank you very much, Drew, for that. I saw you gave a donation. Look, for every $5, we got what 30 that was given so far. That's 6 children's books that's going out to people. Appreciate you all. So here we go. This is called the I Need to Talk Consideration Hierarchy. Polo, the great, I'm glad you're here.
So are we saying I need to talk or we need to talk?
Oh, no. We're going to go to I need to talk.
Okay.
When you feel you need to talk to someone, bear this in mind. Bear this in mind. We all need someone to talk to. But who should we talk to? Should you talk to your boo? No. I'm going to tell you why. Oh, my God. I'm going to tell you why. Some things, yes. Other things, no. Let's get into it. Because I know I got y'all curious like, Mike, what? No, we walked down the aisle and we sung Luther Vandross. We did it. Here we go.
Not Luther. Big Luther or Skinny Luther?
Hey, I don't know. Both of them. KFC Luther. Look, is your relationship conditional or unconditional? That's a question you need to ask. Some of you all have went to the I love my boo and we said we gonna be together forever and it is unconditional love. You would be lying to yourself. Okay, let's get to it. Who do I talk to first? What's the relationship status? 1 on the top. Now usually at a pyramid we start at the bottom, but right now we starting at the top. Why? The top is always considered to be number 1, so we're gonna start at the bottom. 1, non-biased friends. Why is it so small at the top? Well, 1,
there's not many that exist.
There you go. You should not have 20 or 25 non-biased. That's too many people. That is too many people.
And the word friends is very deep.
The word friends should be a title that a person earns, not something you bestow on someone just because they look good, smell good, fuck good, taste good, eat good, suck good, fuck good. Yes, I went there. I don't give a shit. The relationship status of your non-biased friends, unconditional. These friends will tell you what you need to know, not always what you want to hear. What you need to know, not always what you want to hear. Let's go. Here we go.
Are you mature enough to deal with that conversation?
Oh, and it's gonna hurt.
That's a big factor. If you're not mature enough to deal with that conversation, I'm pretty sure you don't have a lot of non-biased friends.
Hey, yup. And that's why they tell you the shit that feeds your ears. So they can get what they get out of you. That's why they're using you.
And your soul. Feed your ears, feed your soul. But it might not feed your ego.
I'm telling you. Here we go.
You need to starve that motherfucker.
After that, educators. What do I mean? Anger management, parenting coaches, financial educators, sex coaches, right? If we're talking about whatever the issue is, educators. Why do I say educators? Educators don't have the power to medicate. Educators don't have the power to medicate. And usually, educators are 99.9% invested in your outcomes. Because when you succeed, we succeed. When you succeed, we succeed. Educators don't cost much to speak to, and educators, I can tell you, I am two of the four listed. I'm an anger management specialist and certified breakthrough parenting instructor, right? We have workbooks to give you. Oh, you gonna have work to do. It's not gonna be simple. It's gonna be complex because there's work that has to be done. But as long as you're willing to do the work, we are willing to stick with you through the process because we want to help you do the work so you can see it through. It's unconditional. We unconditionally care about your outcomes, but we don't cost as much, and we have the power to educate, not medicate. Let's continue. Clinical specialist. What do I mean when I say clinical specialist? Family law attorneys, therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, right? But make sure they are giving you the tools to self-empower. There are some therapists who will have you on the table and you will be spilling your guts out and they won't give you anything to help you go.
Well, I would say, but here's the thing though, and this is the only piece of advice I have for the psychologist, psychiatrist. Is it physical or mental? And that's how you're going to decide which one you're going to. If it's based off a chemical imbalance or something internal, then it's a psychologist. If it's just mental, aka I need someone to talk to help me go through some of this emotional turmoil and pain, then it's a psychiatrist. Please know the difference. But psychologists care more about the physiological part of you that makes you the way you are, where psychiatrist wants to probably hear your thoughts about how you feel about something and then maybe medicate you depending on the situation. So at least I would say go get checked to make sure which one it is. Is it a chemical imbalance or is there something deeper? Emotional.
And go talk to an educator first. Here's the reason why I'm going to tell you this. Because what you may think is a deeper issue could be a matter of inattentional blindness because you can only see what you have eyes for.
Cheers.
You can only see what you have eyes for. And depending upon who you get, and especially if it's me, I care so much about your outcomes. I'm going to let you know if you could endure the pain, you will find your purpose in the process. And I may say some things that's going to be triggering, but ask any doctor. Pain is a part of the healing process. So I don't mean to cause you pain, but you're going to have to go through some shit so that we can help you through it. Ask anybody who's been through detox. That detox shit sucks. But you got to go through it to cleanse yourself of that toxicity that has been implanted in you without you destroying yourself. Because half the time I end up working with people and educator is where they tend to stop because that's all they need was more tools they didn't have before. But if you got to see a clinical specialist, by all means, please go do so.
Mm-hmm.
Please go.
And just remember, man, there's people out there who really want your money to give your ass some bad advice.
I swear to God.
So, man, please, y'all don't understand. Because even as a father, hearing that your kid might need medication, and I'm like, okay, you took this person to a psychiatrist. Yeah, let's go to a psychologist. Mm-hmm. I want someone to examine him physically first.
Yep.
And check his brain scans and everything else. Let's check that. We have the money. Go do that.
Yep.
because psychiatrists want to hear. They want to hear what they want to hear, what you got to say, and give you a medication to take care of it. Everything can't be medicated, man.
Telling you.
Maybe a tranquilizer dart.
Ew. Listen. All right, here we go. And then you have your significant other. Now, some of y'all are like, but Mike, I love you. Why you want to put me at the bottom? Okay. One, the relationship is conditional. Trust and believe. Violate one of them conditions and you're going to find out real quick. And you need to ask yourself the question, what do you have to lose by talking to them? What do they do for you that you don't do for yourself? You got to ask yourself those questions. Why? What they don't do for you, or strike that, what they do for you that you don't do for you can and will be used against you when they are through with you. I hate that this is even a thing. I hate that this is even a thing. Y'all saw that next slide. I'm gonna share with y'all that next slide because that's important, right? If y'all need to snapshot this, go on ahead and snapshot this. Take your phone, take your computer, snapshot this so you can look at this and see what I'm talking about. This is the I need to talk consideration hierarchy. You got to consider whether the relationship is conditional or unconditional. Why? Everything you tell your significant other, guess who ends up finding out when she mad at you? Everybody else. Everybody else. You going to end up telling her, and you're going to wonder why the divorce attorney and the private investigators and everybody else are more educated on the matter than they should be. Because you talked to somebody, you literally gave them the ammunition to hang you with. Friend hierarchy, and then we out of here. Here we go. Friend classification hierarchy. Now we starting at the bottom. Associates, right? Associates.
That you call friends.
Right. Well, we ain't got that far yet. Associates, it's 4 levels. You can't earn these. They are where you are. Associates are just that. Could be at work, it could be at school, it could be at church. Associates, that's it. It's just associates. Then friendly associates, right? These friendly associates may show interest or friendliness, but they are still a what? Associate. Then you got friend. Make these very few, right? Then you got your best friend. You're talking about a best friend? Look, not everyone is your friend. Avoid promoting people to classifications they aren't qualified for or have proven themselves to be. The title of friend and best friend should be earned by time, life works, and reciprocal utility to each other. What does that mean? How useful you are to each other. No one promotes an unqualified person faster than a person with insecurities. Does this, come on, y'all, sign off in the comments. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Does this make sense? See, the thing is, y'all may need to snapshot this one too. There's got to be something you teach your friends. Something you teach your children.
I'm about to say teach your children. If you're teaching your friends how to if you're teaching your friends the code. Yeah.
But here's this. This would be a good conversation to trigger if they are that. What you want me to repeat, Drew? Tell me what you want me to repeat. I'll repeat the whole thing if you tell me. I promise I'm here for you. Word. No one promotes an unqualified person faster than a person with insecurities. You shouldn't be quick to promote somebody to being a friend. They should have to earn that. And you should have to earn that with them too.
That's why I have friends and I got brothers and sisters. because you don't have to be blood to be a brother and sister in my book.
Dan Raymond. Dan, is this the Dan that I was in Germany with? Dan, is that you? I hope that's you, brother. Dan, let me know it's you.
And then it's crazy because we were just talking about how the fact we're instructors 24/7.
Man,
I'm literally responding to people about gun choices for off-duty carry.
And I gotta respond to somebody about holster choices.
Oh, that's the next conversation. They gotta pick the right gun first.
Yeah.
So I'm having them wait to go buy a gun because I'm like, hey, before you pick an off-duty gun, because cops don't have to wait they don't have to wait that long.
The Laudenberg Amendment, right?
Correct. So the thing is that they want to just go buy a gun. I'm like, nah, you need to go shoot the ones I listed first. And the comment was, I don't like none of them. You never shot them.
Outstanding.
You showing me a Ruger LCP. Really? As an off-duty cop? You ain't out of your mind. You out of your mind.
You trying to lose. Here we go. There's a continuation to this friend classification hierarchy. If y'all want me to continue with the friend classification hierarchy, because there's another side to this.
Yep.
Type the number 1 in the comments. Come on now. I need to see y'all in it.
I'm not going to go there, but I'll say 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know you. I know we good. I just want to see somebody else in the comments say you want to hit, because there's another side. There's another side to this. There's another side. I see Cherie. She said, all right, let's go. I just want to make sure y'all in it. Here we go. Another side to this friend classification hierarchy. Here we go. Associates. They will betray you. They have no loyalty to you. Associates will betray you. They haven't earned a place at all in your life. So don't be surprised if associates betray you. That's what they do. Right? Here we go. Friendly associates. They will betray you with a smile. That's it. Hey, I'm just saying. Right? It's possible. They may betray you with a smile. A friend, they're battle tested. Ride or die. Right? That's why they got to be so few. Everybody don't qualify to be in these special areas. Stop being so quick to have a friendly associate because they show it. Nah, man, you got to do a little bit more than that. And then your best friend, that's the ride or die. Come on, man. Loyalty is family bred, not taught. You can't teach somebody how to be loyal. Loyalty's got to come from their family values. Does that make sense? Family values. Family values. Family values. If they don't have loyalty in their family, they don't have loyalty in their friendships. I'm just saying. You got to take time and get to see who they come from. Hey, who they come from. And if they can't give you no references of who they come from, because they may not be able to tell you where they've been loyal, because they got to keep certain things to themselves. But come on, man. We know loyal people when we see it. We could just tell by how they move. Loyal.
Or the ones that let you walk out the house looking like busted biscuits.
Man, I'm telling you.
That's how you know you ain't got no friends.
Loyal.
Matter of fact, you want to play the game, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Play this game. Pick something so screwed up that you know goddamn well you shouldn't walk out the house wearing. And every now and then invite your friend over to go somewhere. If that friend will let you out the house looking like that, that's not your friend. That's a goddamn associate.
For sure.
And that's not even a friendly associate.
That's an associate.
That's an associate.
That is an associate.
And again, I wish it was funny, but I'm being for real.
Yeah.
A real friend would never let you walk out the house looking bogus.
Because they care about your outcomes.
Bruh, they choke and theirs technically.
Yep.
Because guess what? If they truly care about you, they're not going to sit there and protect your feelings either. They're going to let you know for real, hey, this ain't it, boo.
You look like Battleship Gray.
Or Busted Biscuits.
Or
I here looking like Granddad from the Boondocks.
Yes. The buttons, I remember that too. When he was going on the date with the Kung Fu Wolf.
Yes. Why you got on purple? Why you got on purple thongs? Stay on my business, boy.
Right. Here we go. You said it does make sense. However, family can hurt you the worst because you have to learn the difference between family and relatives.
Remember,
Remember, I just did the family credit report. How do you know the difference between family and relatives? Look at the outcomes of who they come from. Don't talk crap about them. Just look at the outcomes. Look at the husband. Look at the wife. Look at the mother. Look at the father. Look at the outcomes. Look at the grandmother, the grandfather, the great-grandmother, the great-grandfather, all the aunties, all the uncles, and their husbands and wives and offspring. Look at the outcomes. If the fruit is rotten or non-existent, that should tell you a lot. It should tell you a lot. Oh, come on, Mike. Look, you can lie to yourself all you want to. I'm not responsible for you lying to yourself. I told you what I told you. I said what I said. You can always tell about how the fruit is by the condition of the fruit. And then when you look back, shitty fruit means somebody didn't take care of some stuff on their end. Come on now. I'm telling you. And even if it's within you. Look, let me tell you something. I did the family credit report fucking some 10, 20 years later. But I did it on myself. In doing it on myself, I had no business being anybody's husband. I had no business being anybody's father. Why? Because looking at the outcomes of my family, I was grossly underprepared to be any of those things. And can I say that without tearing myself down? Yes. Because two things can be in existence. One, I can have a high level of realistic self-esteem about myself. And two, simply say I'm not qualified for this job. So before I get it, there's some training I need to do because I need to increase my value before I present myself to someone to say, will you marry me?
And does that person respect you? Because if you don't know your own value, how can you expect anyone else to see that value in you?
I don't even know if I want them to respect me. I want them to value me.
We talked about respect. Remember what it said?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay.
All
right.
See, remember, go by definition, not by word. The word has been misconstrued for years.
Yeah, okay.
Because remember, what's the first part of being respectful? Empathy.
Empathy. Well, a feeling, and then from that, empathy.
Well, remember, what does it say? A feeling of, due regard for one's feelings.
Right.
That's empathy.
I get where you coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I get where you coming from.
Because you have a due regard to one's feelings, you have a due regard to one's traditions, you have a due regard to one's wishes, you have a due regard to one's.
Let me ask you this: what if they got a tradition of having a messed up family? Oh,
then you have to break what you call a generational curse.
You got to break free from that shit. You better not marry it. You better not marry it. How many of y'all call yourself getting married or get into a relationship with somebody said, I'm different, come to find out they were still just like the rest of that family? I'm telling you, it happened more time than you could think. It happened more time than you could think. More times than we even want to admit. More times than we even want to admit. All right?
Take a trip out of town to go help this person buy a gun because I refuse to let them go around here buying something goofy.
Yeah, that's that. All right, what do y'all thought about today's impromptu 2-hour show? Impromptu 2-hour show. Look, for the sake of things, I hope that Romeo and Marquise. Why I say Marquise? Romeo.
That's his name. Shit.
Nah, his name ain't Marquis. Oh, you're right. But I want to talk about you. Yeah, I hope for the sake of things, Lil Romeo and Marquise actually grow up and learn to have a. I don't want to say feel the way your father wants you to feel about them, but I do want you to. I do want you to do the work to try to understand your father's trauma. Because the thing is, if you don't take the time to understand your father's trauma,
let me hit the head. I'll be back.
Okay, you're good. You're good. If you don't take the time to try to understand your father's trauma, you're not going to learn why you are the way you are. Take the time to understand your father's trauma. Take the time to understand your mother's trauma. Now, some of y'all are like, well, why should we understand the parents' trauma? I didn't ask to be here. That's because 9 times out of 10, it was their trauma that caused them to make you. Why should I have to understand their trauma? I didn't ask to be here. They owe me everything. That is true in certain cases. But you won't understand what issues you need to work on with you until you understand the teacher who taught you. Take the time to understand their trauma. I didn't say like it. I didn't say dislike it. I didn't say accept it. I didn't say love it. I didn't say hate it. I just said understand it. When you take the time to understand it, you'll begin to see you. And the dots will begin to connect. And when the dots begin to connect, it'll begin to make sense. You are not the problem. The problem is the problem. You are not the problem. The problem is the problem. There is me in a team. You and I are a team. If you allow me, we can fix everything. If you allow me, we can fix everything. What is that? Right? That's a mnemonic. What does that mean? If, identify the problem. You, understand the problem. Allow, analyze potential solutions. Me, make a plan. We can, the cooperative experience amongst the whole thing. Fix, follow the plan. Everything, evaluate the results. If you allow me, we can fix everything. Come on now. And that understanding can't be one-sided. It's got to be both. Understand their trauma and watch how that will bring healing to yours. Because there are a lot of your parents who are still misunderstood. And they parented you, disciplined you negatively, punished you from that misunderstanding. From that misunderstanding. That's why they struggled to parent you. And that's why you're struggling now. Because neither one of you are cooperating with each other. Take the time to understand your parents' trauma and watch if they really believe you really want to know because you really care about them. Watch how they open up to you. Watch what difference that can make in your relationship. Unless you just like to be mad. And if you like to be mad, I don't know what else to say. You deserve better. Your kids deserve better. All right, final thoughts.
Be better people. That's it. Be a better person. Be the example you want your kids to be.
Teach them.
Yeah. Because now teach them, write it down, make it tangible. Do what you need to do today that you didn't do yesterday. Do what you need to rephrase that. Do what you need to do tomorrow that you didn't do today and yesterday. Because again, they're watching. They're watching. They're watching how you deal with stuff. They're watching this. They're watching that. Be the example. Give them the life lessons that you need, that you desire them to have. Write that shit down. You know, it's okay to have a journal. Shit, I write down so much stuff in this thing. It's ridiculous. Why? Because it has a thing called notes.
Yep.
And you gonna chill out with this Rhythm Nation stuff there, Christy.
For those of you all interested, coming this January, I do have a breakthrough parenting program and group. It's a 10-week program where if you're interested and you're interested in doing the work, it comes with a 76-page workbook. And
only 76?
Huh?
I said only 76?
Yeah, sure. But these are 76 good pages. It's a lot of work that we're going to do in this class. It's going to be by way of Zoom. And this is going to be so powerful because it's going to help you dive into your trauma while giving you tools, tips, tricks, tactics, and helping you understand the time to be able to teach. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to teach your children and yourself responsibility. The world will use the words responsibility and accountability like hot cakes. They will use that, but they won't give you the time or try to help yourself give yourself the time to even see if you could count or even see if you're able to respond. So let's start doing the work now. I also have another program that I'm partnering with Cynthia Manuel of Heavenly Sent, where we're going to be in churches, not from a religious perspective and not from a political perspective. No. But we are going to be teaching children home life skills.
Ooh.
I told y'all I'm serious about this. You're going to start to see. Did that mannequin start talking? You gonna start? I said, did the mannequin start talking?
Nah, dude, I heard screaming. So I looked outside first, but not realizing it was my associate that's in the back that's protecting the back.
Okay.
Because I'm like, if I hear screaming, I'm at the front door where I'm looking at 3 sheriffs sitting on the side of the street. Because they're not playing down. Dude, when I tell you downtown,
yeah,
there's a reason why I got hired to do armed security. Just trust me on that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I've seen it already.
Yeah.
Home life skills. You gotta see it to believe it. The way to stop the violence in our communities is give them something to be proud of. Give them some.
That's something to be proud of. Drug dealing and carjacking. What are you talking about?
Hell no, man. No.
They proud of that shit.
But I'm serious though.
Okay, so I'll take that back. 4 Cook County sheriffs are down here now.
Yeah. Give them something to be proud of. Give them something to look forward to that's not societally negative. And you gotta catch them when they're younger. And
be a better influence than what the hell's on the street.
Man.
You know why most people join gangs, according to most surveys? the lack of family and bonding, so they look for family and bonding elsewhere.
Absolutely. Shit, so I said, oh, they're going to yard. Hell yeah, I'm tired. Shit, I'm going to
I was
sleep.
more scared of my mother than any gang.
But see, that's the thing, though. I don't want to be scared of my mom. I don't want parents to be.
I hope you understand what I mean by that.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean by that. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
the only feeling I had for my mother was fear.
Yeah.
It's literally the fact that I was more scared of her reaction to me joining the gang than I did whatever joining the gang. I wanted, because again, I wanted my mother to always be proud of me. So to do stupid things changed my mind.
Absolutely.
Chicago, yes, Christy, I'm downtown Chicago.
I get you. Why
it's okay to be scared of your daddy? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, shit. I don't want to be scared of either one of them. I'm not scared of any of my teachers. I'm not scared of any of my teachers, and I learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
And my thing is that I want my parents to respect me as much as I respect them based on the definition of the regard of feelings, aka empathy, and everything else. And the whole thing, like I said, please, if you didn't take anything from today, take the word respect and look at it from a different light based on the definition about regard, not about deep admiration. I really hate that term, and I'm sorry that's even in a dictionary. Because guess what? A lot of people have deep admiration for people. Let people do what the hell they want to do because of their admirations.
Absolutely.
And how deep they were.
Absolutely. Speaking of deep, get ready to go get some deep dish pizza. Lies. I hate that cheesy shit.
First of all, it depends on who makes the deep dish pizza.
Right.
And I'm a total disagreeing with what Chance the Rapper said about how Chicago people don't eat that. Yes, I damn do. I was born and raised on the west side, ladies and gentlemen, of Chicago. I F's with deep dish pizza. That's my thing. I love it. It's good. It's hearty. It's like a meal on a slice.
That's it.
Now, don't get me wrong. Don't do nothing else when you're done eating it, though, because you ain't going to have no fun, boy. That's nap time.
Look.
That's Thanksgiving on a slice. You got to eat the side items.
Yes. All right, y'all. We are out of here. You all have a wonderful night. Let me see. Go play the We Out. Here we go.
Going on there, this is Chicago with Season Service Survival. Don't you do it. Friends here. Y'all, this is
because you have to understand that self-defense is a serious business. We do carry forces, defense forces. Make a difference.
one of the tactics that would increase or decrease
in the two-way community.
All right, y'all introduce yourself.
Let's just give them 100%.
Johnny
You already know what it is.
I saw that, and I've done my share. I'm about to put yours up here too. Wow, look at this. My comment is,
I want.
Can you be back?